There was a black family that purchased a home in Texas City, Texas, a little bit outside of Houston, and it's in the Lago Mar subdivision. Now, they purchased a home and they have a community pool that's provided by the homeowner association. So being a homeowner, you have a right to go to this particular pool. Well, I want you to see exactly the video the sister shot, and then I want you to hear what she says in the news reports. Let's roll the clip.
All righty. So here we are at Lago Mar, where I live, and just purchased me a beautiful home. And I'm being asked to leave the pool, really for no reason at all. Nothing has been done. I've been here maybe about 30 minutes, and the lifeguard never spoke to me about anything, but called the police to ask me to leave. She thinks I doesn't live here, though I have my closing documents and my pool tag. And I'm being asked to leave, and Texas City is actually enforcing this.
Well, you know,
the officer is right here.
Had you just
So we're being asked to leave, though I pay very good HOA fees and taxes, over $10,000 in taxes a year. I'm being asked to leave the pool. Okay, but me and my black children will leave since we're being asked to leave. But don't argue with her. I pay her salary with my HOA fees. Let's go.
I'm just trying to get
because we're gonna have to have a big sit down about this, because I'm being asked to leave for no reason really. Because I'm a little bit too dark for you. As soon as I walked in, you didn't even want to let me in the pool, ma'am. And I have an issue with that. So I'll get my kids and I'll leave. I'll leave. That's okay. That's okay.
Can I get this one?
Come on, Tierra, y'all. Let's go. We're being asked to leave. Come on, kiddos. The day is over. We've been here no time, but we've been first time ever coming to the pool. We're having to leave. Braden, get out the pool, babe. Come on. Braden. All of my kids are doing just fine, but we're being asked to leave, and the police are actually enforcing it and asking us to leave as well, though we're residents of this subdivision. Come on, y'all, let's go. Braden, can you get out the pool? Our trip is over, son. Braden.
Not much time.
I know, we weren't here very long, Tierra, I know. But that's okay.
Can we go to Palm Beach?
And the Texas City police officer right here who's threatening to like take me to jail or whatever if I don't leave, because now I'm trespassing at this point, though I live in this subdivision and pay HOA fees to be here. Come on, let's go. Come on, kiddos.
No, stop, Taylor, stop.
No, they're making us leave. They said we have to go.
The pool?
No, they don't have to rebuild the pool. We have to leave because they don't want us here. They asked us to leave.
Why, Mommy? Why, Mommy?
On Saturday, Tramika Thomas says she, along with her 5 children and other family members, went to the community pool at the Lago Mar subdivision in Texas City. It was their first visit since purchasing a home here in April.
And upon letting us in, there were constant stairs. They recorded my kids at some point, the lifeguards did. They started recording my kids on personal phones. And then eventually, while I was in the pool with my 2-year-old, I saw a Texas City police officer approach the scene, and he asked me to leave.
Thomas says she was never approached by the pool staff about why she was being kicked out and wasn't given any explanation. Fox 26 reached out to the Lago Mar Homeowners Association. Part of their statement reads, quote, "On Saturday, a resident and her party were asked to leave the pool due to their unruly and unsafe behavior. After several polite requests to follow pool rules and to supervise their underage guests, the lifeguard on duty asked the resident to leave. This request was for the safety of their unsupervised children as well as other pool patrons." Thomas's social media posts about the incident has caused some outrage within the community, some residents claiming she was not following pool safety rules and deserved to be kicked out. Thomas and her family decided to take to the road outside of Lago Mar with signs, claiming the HOA racially profiled them. She says there's still an investigation underway by the HOA, but will protest with her family until they get justice.
I definitely feel like both lifeguards need to be terminated. They did racially profile us. They handled the situation totally inappropriately.
Now, as you heard her stating that when she walked in, she saw stairs. I believe that 100%. I know these folks down here in Texas. I know exactly how a lot of them are and a lot of them respond. Because the first stare going to be is, where did she come from? Where did they come from? Okay. Then they want to know, usually, where do they live? Do they have a house out here or something? So they say you pull out your little badge and show them, yeah, you have a house. So they're trying to figure out what kind of job you have. How can you afford to stay out there? I mean, nosy as hell. And you have to understand, a lot of racism is built off of jealousy, because they feel that black people are supposed to be poor, destitute, high crime area, in the ghetto, on food stamps, welfare. And that's what the narrative has been on black people. And it plays along with that white supremacist attitude. But when a black person buying the same home as you can spend the money you spending, all of a sudden they really get upset and pissed off with that. So the first thing for me that's extremely weird is that you're taking pictures of their children. Why are you taking pictures of other people's children? Why are you pulling out your phone to do that? That's the first thing, number one, that's totally out of line and wrong. You shouldn't be pulling out no phone and taking pictures of nobody's child. I don't care who it is. Second thing is, they did not say exactly what they done, right? They didn't say, they kept telling them, hey, you doing this, you doing that, because they didn't want them there in the first place. And then, all of a sudden when black people show up, is all these rules. Oh, everybody's about the rules. Oh, the rules, the rules, the rules. Now you sit there and watch them white cheering, and how many times black folks, you know what I'm talking about, they doing all kind of things. But a black child, they got to follow the rule to the T. And then they're going to say, oh, that little kid over there is doing this because they don't want you around them. OK, they don't. And if you understand the history of this country, they never really wanted black people in no kind of swimming pool they're swimming in. Understand the history of that. And also, about a month or two ago, they had all these social media posts about swimming pools, how they had articles where they had a lot of diseases in swimming pools. And then certain individuals were stating that their children don't bathe because they said they go to the swimming pool so they don't have to bathe. Certain individuals were saying that, well, instead of taking a shower after the gym, they go to the pool. And they was explaining that scientifically, this is how a lot of diseases are getting in pools. OK, so for me personally, if it's not your personal swimming pool that you have, I'm not for nobody community pool. Hell no, not me. I would tell that brother and sister, if you can afford it, if you can, put a swimming pool in your yard. That's what I would do if you can afford to do so. I don't want to be in no community pool with all that racism going on, first and foremost. And I believe personally, I don't know if they did the research, but I'm a firm believer of doing extensive research on any kind of community you go to. OK, I'm not saying every community is like that here in Texas. No, I mean, they got some communities that's mixed of everybody and you ain't got no issues or problems. And then you got some of them where them folks are just, being racist. So you got to do your research very, very well. And you may deal with some of that in some of these neighborhoods. That's the very, very unfortunate thing. So unless you're in a city like DeSoto, Texas, where you have a lot of successful black people there, it's kind of hard to find like your middle class or upper middle class neighborhoods that's all black. It's very, very hard to find. Of course, the reason why it's hard to find that, because the way this system has always disenfranchised black people, destroyed black people's success. So for us to build communities like that is just, it's hard to find, unfortunately. So the bad part of any kind of success for black Americans is you don't see a whole lot of people look like you as you move up. See, one thing about Caucasians, no matter what level they're at, they can find people that look like them from the bottom all the way to the top. And even Tupac talked about that. He said, I can't live in the hood because I got people hungry and they want to get at me. Then if I move over here, to the Hollywood Hills, my neighbors don't even want me around, because he's talking about the folks. So he said, you really don't have nowhere to go when you get to certain levels of success as black people. That's why, I wish we would actually put our differences aside and build middle class and even upper middle class communities that we can move into. I mean, they have so much land in the state of Texas that you could actually do that for sure. Here, definitely, you can do that. But, you know, unfortunately, if we move into certain neighborhoods and there's not a lot of black people there, and it could be some black people there, I don't know. But if it's not a lot of black people there, you're going to have those issues and problems. That's just what I have seen just all over the place, at least here in the United States. That's why I'm a firm believer of us trying to get together and build certain things, because we build everybody else's businesses and we build everything up for everyone else, but we don't build our own. And that's why we getting so much issues and problems dealing with racism, because we should have our own communities and we should have our own community pools, so we don't have to worry about dealing with no racist people or have no race soldiers called in to kick you out of a pool that you paying homeowner association fees for. See, my thing is this. I say, okay, if I can't use a community pool, I need that deducted off my HOA fees then, because why should I be paying for something for them to be enjoying? No, not at all. But it'd be me if I was I bought a property and it was racist like that. I say, you know what? I'm selling this house and getting out of here. That's one thing you can't do with a house. You can sell it and move on to a better neighborhood that has none of them kind of people in it. And that's what I would suggest for that family. I know people say, well, that's running. That's not a running. I don't want to subject my family to that. I don't. I don't have to. Well, I believe that when you lay your head down at night, the last thing you should do is be dealing with those issues and problems. Move to a place where, you know, you got decent people. And sound like that place right there is not a decent place at all, especially for black people. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about this particular story. But this is some of the issues and problems that black people that work hard for themselves, that pull themselves up by their bootstraps, have to deal with. You buy a home, pay a lot of taxes and everything like everyone else, but yet they still have a lot of ignorant racists in the same area where you're at.